Good evening, everyone. I'm Fire Captain Ron Harrelson from the Public Information Office. Thank you all for joining us tonight virtually for this spectacular event as we recognize the heroism and hard work of our team members and the community's Good Samaritans. And now, I would like to introduce the Master of Ceremonies for this evening's program, award-winning journalist, ABC 7 News anchor, Mark Brown. Mark is a friend of our department who has received multiple Emmy Awards for his work on camera and several recognitions for his work off camera for his own service to the community and mentorship to many who would like to follow in his footsteps. We thank you, Mark, for being part of this ceremony and helping us celebrate and recognize great work and even greater deeds.
Welcome to the Los Angeles County Fire Department's 2021 Valor Awards, presented by the LA County Fire Foundation. Before we begin, let's take a moment to hear from pipes and drums that ushers in the start of this program. I'm honored to be here once again, as I have been for many, many years, and while this year's event is a little bit different, I am very glad to be here, as it's a privilege for me to share with you the people behind the stories that we cover at ABC 7. You know, every time there's an incident involving LA County Fire, I learn a little bit more about what you do, how you do it, and it gives me a greater appreciation for the valor and the heroism that goes into what you would consider your everyday work. So we all appreciate it, and it's great that we get to acknowledge it tonight. Now let's thank the LA County Fire Foundation for its tremendous support of this event, as well as all the amazing sponsors for helping present tonight's virtual ceremony. We appreciate the generosity of our sponsors at the platinum level, at the premier level, the gold level, gold sponsors, our silver sponsors, and our bronze level sponsors. Some of our sponsors have chosen to use their sponsorship to recognize heroes among their ranks who they feel have stepped up and helped their communities during the pandemic. So we also want to thank those that are listed next to the logos for their service. Thank you for your donations that make tonight's Valor Awards program possible. Additional funds raised will be used to support life-saving equipment and transformative community education programs. Again, thank you all for your generosity. Now let's continue our program with the national anthem performed by ocean lifeguard Coral Kemp.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Ocean Lifeguard Coral Kemp. Next, we'll hear from Department Chaplain Vince Roldan for tonight's invocation.
Today we recognize acts of valor among our members that have gone above and beyond the call of duty. But what is valor? The dictionary defines valor as great courage in the face of danger. As firefighters, every time the bell goes off and we answer the call, we know that we can soon be facing some very dangerous situations. Situations that may require us to put our lives on the line for the people and the communities that we have chosen to serve. Scripture says, "Greater love has no one than this, that someone lay down his life for his friends." I think the spirit of that scripture would agree that it could also be said that someone is willing to lay down his life for his friends. That is why today, I don't just want to recognize these special individuals that we are honoring for their heroic acts, but I also want to recognize all the members of this great department that are willing to put it all on the line every time they answer the call to keep the people in our communities safe and secure. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we come to you today with hearts of gratitude. We are so thankful that we have been given this opportunity to not only serve our communities, but also to serve you. It is truly an honor to be a part of bringing peace, comfort, and ultimately love to the people that we have been called to serve. We thank you for the protection you provide us each and every day on each and every call, and ask that you continue to cover us with the blessing of your presence as we go about our mission to help those in need. I ask that you continue to bless this great department, its leaders, the men and women on the front lines, their families, and all of those that support them. Lead us, guide us, and give us your wisdom. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Roldan, for that special blessing. Of course, this program cannot officially start without welcoming my friend, your chief, Los Angeles County Fire Chief Daryl Osby. And we'll also hear from the LA County Board of Supervisors.
Good evening. I'm Fire Chief Daryl Osby. It's my honor to welcome honorees, families, friends, and colleagues to the Los Angeles County Fire Department's virtual 2021 Valor Awards ceremony. To our dignitaries joining us from the Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors and Chief Executive Office, as well as my fellow county department heads, our labor partners, Local 1014 and LACOLA, and the Association of Chiefs, thank you for your ongoing leadership, partnership, and support of the department. I would like to take this opportunity to express my gratitude to Mark Brown from ABC 7 for once again serving as our Master of Ceremonies, and Los Angeles County Fire Foundation Board of Directors for funding the project of this evening's event. This Valor Awards ceremony would not be possible without the support of our sponsors. We appreciate their generosity and partnership in making this a memorable celebration for our honorees. This evening, we are gathered together virtually to celebrate extraordinary individuals for their exceptional heroism over the past 2 years. While some individuals displayed bravery in the face of danger, others have gone above and beyond, showing an unwavering commitment to the department and communities we proudly serve. These outstanding individuals demonstrated in action the tenets for which our department stands, providing the gold standard of service as we protect lives, property, and the environment for our Los Angeles County residents. This Valor Awards ceremony It's one of my favorite department events. Each of our honorees has left a positive impression on me and our communities in a profound and personal way. I am proud to be with our heroes and the families and friends who have supported them. Together this evening, we will hear incredible stories of heroism, bravery, and exceptional commitment. To our members receiving the prestigious Medal of Valor, each of you demonstrated courage, not in search of recognition, but through duty, heart, and intuition. You cared, and it showed. This is an award that none of them sought as they rose above and beyond the call of duty, risking their life to save another under conditions that put them in extreme personal risk. We express our profound gratitude and extend our congratulations to each of our Medal of Valor recipients: Firefighter Jennifer Tier, Firefighter Catherine Whitby, Firefighter Henry Diaz, and Firefighter Jeffrey Darney. There is no prouder moment for me as Fire Chief to lead an organization with such an incredible group of exceptional team members who exemplify and embody our department's core values. Before I close, I'm reminded of one of my favorite quotes from Maya Angelou. Courage is the most important of all the virtues, because without courage, you can't practice other virtues consistently. And what an amazing virtue courage is, as each of our honorees are to be commended for their tremendous selfless acts and dedicated service. To all of our honorees, congratulations. Your actions truly serve as an inspiration to us all. May we each discover our own way to make a positive impact on the lives around us and look for ways each and every day to make our world a better and safer place.
This is Supervisor Janice Hahn, and I'm honored to be part of today's ceremony, honoring those heroes in our county fire department who went above and beyond in answering the call of duty. Every day, our firefighters meet people on the very worst days of their lives and provide help and comfort in some of their darkest moments. This is especially true in the case of today's honorees: firefighters Catherine Whitby, Jennifer Tier, Henry Diaz, and Jeff Darney. And I wanted to give a special thanks to firefighters Whitby and Tier, who worked together to pull off a tough save in my district of someone stranded on the rocky cliffs along the coast of Rancho Palos Verdes. These brave firefighters and all of our honorees today embody the values of the fire department and serve as an example of public service at its finest. Congratulations to today's honorees, and thank you to every single one of our fire department employees for your service and continued commitment to protecting and serving the residents of Los Angeles County.
I'm Supervisor Catherine Barger. It is a privilege to join Chief Osby and the Los Angeles County Fire Department to celebrate the Valor Awards. The honorees are brave, selfless, and deeply committed to their communities. Both fire department team members and residents have displayed incredible strength and willingness to put others before themselves. Each year, the stories we hear during this ceremony are deeply personal and incredibly inspiring. We see the very best of Los Angeles County residents and public servants who are caring, diligent, and courageous. The honorees come from unique backgrounds and life experiences, showing that no matter who you are or where you come from, you can make a difference. And each year, we see that all of them are incredibly humble. They all say they were just doing the right thing and were in the right place at the right time. As a community, we know their willingness to show up and take action makes them exceptional. Thank you to all the honorees for truly remarkable service to your community. You represent the best of who we are and inspire us every day.
Thank you, Chief Osby and members of the Board of Supervisors. Now on to the awards as we celebrate and recognize 2 years' worth of heroic deeds and amazing achievements. Both the 2020 and 2021 awards will be presented at the same time in the following order. We will begin with special recognitions, move on to the Exemplary Service Award categories, Letters of Commendation, Certificates of Merit, Unit Citations, Certificates of Valor, and end with the highest achievement of all, the Medal of Valor. First up, our 2020 recipients for the first category, Special Recognitions. For broaching a sensitive subject and providing meaningful training on cultural competency and implicit bias to our department members, the department is pleased to present a special recognition to Program Manager Robert Sowell. And for their commitment and unwavering dedication in teaching emergency preparedness and safety programs to thousands of Los Angeles County residents, the department is pleased to present a special recognition to the members of Girl Scout Troop 2634. Troop leader Rosalie Swiatek and her senior Girl Scouts Julia Alejandro, Francesca Bradley, Genevieve Bradley, Hannah Swiatek, and Sarah Faldivia. Congratulations, everyone. And now on to the Exemplary Service Award for EMS, Emergency Medical Services. For going above and beyond through your actions and emergency medical services work in advancing the quality of life for residents and department members, the department is pleased to present an Exemplary Service Award for EMS to the following recipients: Lifeguard Services Chaplain Roque, Ocean Lifeguard Specialist Lauren Dale, Blake Hubble, Todd Rivera, Ocean Lifeguards Stephen Leon Jr., Max Malamed for treating an injured child in a collision, Fire Captains Pablo Cruz, Esteban Lopez, Robert Prince, Firefighter Specialist Alejandro Magana, Firefighters Robert Heinzel, Michael Moreno, John Palazzi, Miguel Rodriguez for assisting a patient with a heart device, Fire Captain Sergio Burciaga, Firefighter Specialist Joe Barrios, Firefighters Gilbert Barella III, Randall Bishop, Leon McCloskey, Scott Sherman, Kevin Welsh, and Eric Pacheco, Senior Pilot. For performing life-saving CPR, Fire Captain Fidel Nieto, Firefighter Specialist Kevin Coper, Firefighters Thomas Barber, Justin Hummel, Paul Rarick for reviving a driver in a collision, Fire Captain Armando Carrion Jr., Firefighter Specialist Scott Evans, Firefighters Patrick Denovan, Kyle Sanford, Kevin Slight. For life-saving ALS support, Firefighters Jeff Schuster and Christopher Zimmerman. For resuscitating a toddler, Fire Captain Paul Schifando, Firefighter Specialist Art Magnus, Firefighters Errol Baker, Edward Diaz, Scott Sherman. Emergency Medical Technicians Bradley Richardson, Care Ambulance, and Christopher Cummins, Care Ambulance. For delivering premature twins, Firefighter Specialist David Delgado, Firefighters Tyler Griffin, Corey Hughes, Mitchell Van Oss. Congratulations, everyone.
And now, a few words from the LA County Fire Foundation and one of our sponsors, Local 1014.
Good evening. It is Local 1014's honor to be the title sponsor of tonight's Medal of Valor ceremony. I want to take a moment and thank all of our members, the folks who are out there every day, our heroes serving on the front lines, laying it on the line day in, day out. I would also like to thank the Board of Supervisors, the Fire Chief, Daryl Osby, and all the other sponsors, especially our fire union labor partners. Your members are our everyday heroes also. Thank you. We've had an extraordinarily hard year with the pandemic shutdown, high call volumes, early brush season, and our fire family being rocked to the core with the shooting at Fire Station 81. As we recover, repair, and rebuild to move ourselves forward, we shall never forget. It is also equally important that we take time to celebrate the victories, stand together, and look at the many positive and extraordinary incidents that highlight our members, our LA County fire family, as the caring, amazing, passionate professionals they are. I want to also thank the Fire Foundation. What an amazing transformation you have undergone. Your ability to harness the generosity of our communities and listen to our members and use those resources to provide important programs and equipment cannot be understated. In 2020, many of you might not know that the Fire Foundation raised more than $4 million for LA County firefighters. That money was quickly turned into life-saving equipment, including mechanical CPR devices, electronic medical record devices, rope systems, helmet identifiers for firefighter safety, extrication tools like the Jaws of Life, and additional wildfire equipment to help save lives and pets and protect property. Thanks to a six-figure donor, we were able to hire our peer support clinician, Dr. Steve, and launch our expanded peer support program, and not a minute too soon. This equipment and these programs provide the brave men and women of Local 1014 the modern tools and technology that position us to save lives that often hang in the balance when we arrive. Thank you to the donors who contributed and always have our backs. We appreciate you and your kindness and your partnership. If you haven't already, please join me in supporting the Fire Foundation by making a donation at supportlacountyfire.org, or liking this video, or subscribing to the Foundation's YouTube channel. Together, we make a difference. Now let's have a great evening and recognize some extraordinary humans helping others in their chosen profession. Have a great night.
This event would not have been possible without the generous support of our community, our business leaders, and our labor partners. Some of our sponsors have chosen to use their sponsorship today to recognize heroes among their ranks who they feel have stepped up and helped their communities during this trying year. So we also want to thank those that are listed adjacent to the logos for their service. We want to take a moment to recognize our sponsors at the gold level, the silver level, the bronze level. Thank you to everyone who made this event possible.
It is in times of crisis that I feel blessed to live in the Los Angeles County Fire Department service area. I know if I call 911, a trained, empathetic team member will respond quickly and tend to my needs of myself or my family members. It was because of the first-hand experience with LA County Fire that encouraged me to join the board of the Los Angeles County Fire Foundation. I am thankful for what each and every one of the staff at LA County Fire continues to do. From the dispatchers, to the secretaries, to the accountants, and to the sworn EMS members. Each of you play a part in ensuring that LA County firefighter, paramedics, lifeguards, urban search and rescue can focus on providing the care needed. In the last several months, we are proud to have received over $1.8 million to support advancing the technology and providing the tools to better support you, our first responders. Providing mechanical CPR devices to improving patient outcomes. Supplying more effective extraction tools to replace the jaws of life and ropes and harnesses being replaced that are overused and in poor repair. I have felt a connection to the work you're doing, and I hope those watching at home will consider supporting our firefighters, our lifeguards, our paramedics, urban search and rescue teams, and so many more that put their lives on the line for us each and every day.
Without a doubt, the foundation is making a difference every day by ensuring the fire department keeps our communities even safer. Now on to the Exemplary Service Award for Teamwork. For going above and beyond through your actions and work in demonstrating a commendable example of the department's core value of teamwork, the department is pleased to present an Exemplary Service Award for Teamwork to the following recipients. Creating life-saving programs, Dr. Clayton Kazan, Medical Director, Nicole Steeneken, Program Head, Senior Nurse Instructors, Maria Ariano, Shane Cook, Yun Sun Kim, Ilsa Wogau, Battalion Chief David Christian, Firefighters Michael Sean Headington, Stanley Malouf,
Rowena Hernandez, Administrative Services Manager 2, Administrative Services Managers 1, Norma Cabrales and Tai Nam Huynh,
Senior Department Personnel Technicians Christine Estrada, Angela Gamboa Rivas, Management Analyst Diego Gonzalez, Michelle Herrera Gomez.
For developing public safety education campaigns, Heidi Oliva, Executive Support Division Chief, Karen Zarzadia-Zige, Communications Section Chief, Vanessa Lozano, Public Information Assistant, Kaylin Floyd, Student Professional Worker 1, Amelia Garcia, Public Information Assistant Temp. For updating uniform standards, Laverne Holly, Supply Officer 2, Armando Gonzalez, Assistant Supply Officer 2, Ilda Gates, Administrative Assistant 2, Vida Advincula, Procurement Assistant 3, Procurement Assistants 2, Kathy Moore, Tracy Ohan, Sylvia Gonzalez, Procurement Assistant 1, Travis Griffith Washington, Procurement Aide, Elizabeth Chavarria, Intermediate Typist Clerk. For working on the Bobcat fire, Jennifer Morga, Principal Geographic Information Systems Analyst. Amanda Liu, Supervising Hazardous Materials Specialist. Naomi Chow, Senior Geographic Information Systems Analyst.
Hazardous Materials Specialist 3, Miguel Cervantes. Ruben Garcia. Hazardous Materials Specialist 2, James Keegan. Christopher Swearingen. George Wang. Hazardous Materials Specialist 1, Harmick Basic. Dominic Booker Pomata. Eric Chang. Aaron Williams. For PIO and Communications for Bobcat IC,
Heidi Oliva, Executive Support Division Chief. Lifeguard Division Section Chief Kenichi Haskett. Karen Zarziadigas Ige, Communications Section Chief.
Community Services Liaisons, Maria Greikan, Carmen Mackey, Adriana Watson. Fire Captains, Sky Cornell, David Dantic, John Zimpelman. Firefighter Specialist, Henry Narvez. Ocean Lifeguard Specialist, Pono Barnes. Ocean Lifeguard, Manuel Martinez. Angel Sanchez, Senior Information Systems Analyst.
Edith Lai, Intermediate Typist Clerk. Austin Bennett, Student Worker.
For overseeing OPR system, Adrian Lee, Administrative Services Manager 3, Yadira Martinez. Administrative Services Manager 1, Laverne Holly. Supply Officer 2, Financial Specialist Tricia Hauhoko. Michelle Zhang. Armando Gonzalez. Assistant Supply Officer 2, Vida Advincula. Procurement Assistant 3 for COVID-19 Telework Unit, Andrea Avila. Cordy Section Chief, Gary Nishimura. Departmental Information Security Officer 2, Jimmy Wu. Information Technology Supervisor, Mark Alam. Senior Operating Systems Analyst, Senior Information Systems Analyst, Otuan Bui. Arsen Merkichian. Patrick McGarry, Management Fellow. Planning Analyst, Oken Chin. Gina Cortez. Adedoyan Fatuga, Senior Assistant Telecommunications System Engineer. Frank Cervantes, Network Systems Administrator 2, U Law. Information Systems Support Analyst 1, David Bernal. Information Systems Analyst 2, Brian Nakamura. Senior IT Technical Support Analyst, Edward Rohn. Project Director 1, Network Systems Administrators 1, Gustavo Cantos. Cesar Cortez. Abby Zhang. IT Tech Support Analyst 2, IT Tech Support Analyst 1, Jose Gonzalez. Johnny Hawkins. Tracy Flores. David Vuthi-Chaipon. Administrative Assistant 2, Cecilia Carter. Fire Dispatcher 2, Sarah Shaw. Senior Secretary 3, Senior Information Technology Aides, Gloria Areola, Kevin Chow, Eric Valenzuela, Vanessa Lozano. Public Information Assistant, Sarah J. Moore. Intermediate Typist Clerk. Congratulations, everyone, and now on to the Exemplary Service Award for Community. For going above and beyond through your actions and work and demonstrating a commendable example of the department's core value of community, the department is pleased to present an Exemplary Service Award for Community to the following recipients: Fire Captains Brian Cieslak, John Ferguson, Firefighters Larry Horner, Richard Zuniga, Fariba Khalidon, Supervising Hazardous Materials Specialist LaFonda Riggins, Community Services Liaison Rebecca Martinez, Intermediate Supervising Typist Clerk. Congratulations, everyone. And now, on to the Exemplary Service Award for Commitment. For going above and beyond through your actions and work in demonstrating a commendable example of the department's core value of commitment, the department is pleased to present an Exemplary Service Award for Commitment to the following recipients: Fire Captains David Stevens, Jason Vasquez, and K9 Fenway. Firefighter Tim O'Donnell and K9 Pierre. Ruben Garcia, Hazardous Materials Specialist 2. Mauricio Nunez, Supervising Hazardous Materials Specialist 2. Heidi Oliva, Executive Support Division Chief. Richard Clark, Supervising Hazardous Materials Specialist. Jenny Carney, Administrative Services Manager 1. Ron Blyer, Principal Facilities Project Manager. Thomas Brown, Facilities Project Manager 2. Facilities Project Managers 1, Alan Murphy, Paul Pulaski, Martha Morales. Staff Assistant 2, COVID-19 Cost Recovery Project, Leticia Rivera. Fiscal Officer 2, V. Lam. Accounting Officer 3, Daniel Chow. Administrative Services Manager 1, Laureen Wu. Administrative Analyst, Pascal D'Souza. Accounting Officer 2,
Margarita Lucas, Accounting Officer 1. Trisha Hauhoko, Financial Specialist 2.
Elaine Fan, Accountant 3. Accountants 2, Desiree Downs, Armanui Latifian, Lee Jen Lee, Stacy No, Armine Hagverdian. Accounting Technician 2, Yvette Guereke. Secretary 3, Yen Ying Luo. Accounting Technician 1. Congratulations, everyone, and now on to the Exemplary Service Award for Caring. For going above and beyond through your actions and work in demonstrating a commendable example of the department's core value of caring, the department is pleased to present an Exemplary Service Award for Caring to the following recipients: Fire Captain Guadalupe Munoz, Nancy Baker, Joanne Davis, Dorothy Foster, Laura Herman, Nancy Howe, Maricela Ontiveros, Dr. Clayton Kazan, Medical Director. Assistant Medical Directors, Dr. Puneet Gupta, Dr. Saman Kashani, Lynn Vuong, Schaefer, Pharmacy Services Chief 1, Elizabeth Kluger, Pharmacist, Battalion Chiefs Brian Kane, Dustin Robertson, Brian Wells, Senior Emergency Medical Systems Program Heads Paula Lafarge, Terrence McGregor, Antoinette Avignon, Health Programs Administrator, Senior Nursing Instructors Anna Aguayo, Nancy Alvarez, Maria Ariano, Shane Cook, Christina Cruz, Cheryl Gradney, Deanna Josing, Yun Son Kim, Sarah Stambach, Scott Topio, Ilsa Voga. Fire Captains Francisco Espinosa, Eric Getz, Andrew Hill, Alex Linton, Terry Millsaps, Philip Muller, Adrian Reyes, Victor Torres, Keith Wyzorek. Firefighter Specialist Hans Christian. Firefighters Gustavo Aguirre, Jim Cermak, Howard Ferguson, Shannon Pettinger, Kevin Slight, Daniel Zimmerman. Ocean Lifeguard Specialist Charlotte Graham, Jeffrey Martinez, Marie Torres. Executive Secretary 3 Maria Arias, Staff Assistant 3 Adriana West, Management Secretary 3 Lucinda Ruiz, Administrative Assistant 2 Spartek Avetisian, Eligibility Worker DPSS Cesar Gomez, Pharmacy Technician Kayla Cochran, Supervising Typist Clerk, Intermediate Typist Clerks Catherine Burciaga, Brittany Chavez Espinosa, Melissa Cuevas, Nicholas Guevara, Diana Nguyen, Endia Bell. Student Worker. Congratulations to everyone in this category. Now, before we move on to the distinguished awards ahead of us, now is a good time to scan the QR code on your screen to learn more about the LA County Fire Foundation and the great work it has done to assist the fire department and its mission of protecting our communities. In addition to the much-needed life-saving equipment, the foundation also supports safety education programs such as Ready, Set, Go, Family Instructions for Rapid Escape, otherwise known as FIRE, and the Sirens of Silence program that was implemented to support individuals with autism and special needs. Information about all these programs is found on the Foundation's website, www.supportlacountyfire.org. And if you appreciate the equipment and community education programs they provide, consider making a donation to support their work and our fire department. Now we move on to some of the more action-packed incidents and heroic deeds which deserve our kudos tonight. We'll begin again with the recipients in the category of Letter of Commendation. In 2019, members of Fire Station 90 responded to a commercial building where they found smoke and fire and quickly began firefighting efforts and search and rescue operations. Through the smoke, they located a patient and brought them to safety as they put out the fire. For demonstrating decisiveness and courage in helping others under conditions that put them at extreme personal risk, the department is pleased to present a letter of commendation to Fire Captain Michael Chapman, Fire Captain Ryan McKeon, Firefighter Tyler Griffin, Firefighter Ruben Sanchez, and Firefighter Daniel Skaggs. In May of 2019, firefighters Joseph Arambula and Jeremy Munyon arrived at a home on fire in the city of La Puente, where someone was trapped inside.
Sometime in the evening, just after chow time at the station. At this time, I was stationed at Fire Station 26 in the city of La Puente. I was assigned to the paramedic squad that day, Squad 26, with a partner of mine, Firefighter Joe Rambula. Tones went off at the station for a residential structure fire. We were able to get out in front of the engine. And en route to the call, we noticed probably about a mile to 2 miles out from the incident, we noticed a thick black header. My partner and I, Joe, we were on scene first. We reported a single-family dwelling with smoke and fire from the Bravo side of the structure. When we got out, we suited up, got our BAs on, moved over towards the front of the structure, and we noticed an occupant out front stating, "My mom's inside, my mom's inside." Right around that time, Engine 26 showed up, and the firefighters off of Engine 26 were able to pull a hose line to the front door. We knew we were assigned search and rescue. That's how our operations were at that station. So we went in, and my partner Joe, we were going down a hallway. I believe it was the first or second room that I was searching. I opened a door, not too much heat inside. There was thick black smoke all the way down to the ground. Probably 4 or 5 seconds after I was in the room, I made it to the back and noticed a victim laying next to the bathtub, kind of wedged in between the toilet and the bathtub. In attempts to pull the patient out, she was kind of wedged in between those. I was able to get my partner Joe, bring him back into the room where I found her. So my partner and I, Joe Ranville, we pulled her to the front door where an engine company met us. We immediately loaded the patient up, and my partner Joe and I were transported the patient to Pomona Valley Medical Center. En route, we were able to establish IVs, intubate the patient. In probably a couple minutes out from Pomona Valley Hospital, we noticed that the patient was starting to regain some consciousness. We got her to Pomona Valley Hospital, and the medical staff there was able to take over. Thank you. You know, it's a great award to be nominated for. You know, I believe that all my peers, given the same situation, will be able to, you know, perform the same tasks that my partner and I were able to do that day.
For providing full service care and genuine kindness to a patient and their family during a stressful incident, the department is pleased to present a letter of commendation to firefighter Joseph Arambula and firefighter Jeremy Munyon. In September of 2020, a harbor patrol officer had a medical emergency while on duty, which led the boat to capsize and trap the patrol officer underneath. Fellow patrol officer Greg Warner is one of the 2 people who immediately arrived to assist and rescue their colleague. The department is pleased to present a letter of commendation to Harbor Patrol Officer Greg Warner for demonstrating quick thinking and heroism in saving a person's life. In August 2020, team members responded to a reported drowning of a toddler at a backyard swimming pool. La Habra police officers arrived first at the scene when firefighters found them already performing life-saving CPR on the toddler. Our team members took over and assessed the patient before immediately transporting the toddler to a nearby children's hospital. I am happy to report to you tonight that the child had been taken to the ICU for observation at the time and has since recovered with no lasting effects. Earlier, we awarded the firefighters who were on this same call for their life-saving efforts with an Exemplary Service Award and for exhibiting calm under pressure and valiantly doing everything possible to save this toddler's life. The department is also pleased to present a letter of commendation to these members of the La Habra Police Department, Officer Anthony Luster and Officer Nick McDermott. After a day at San Onofre State Beach in September of 2019, firefighter Dane DeBoer was headed out when he was flagged down to assist someone who was on the ground.
One evening, late September 2019, I was taking a nice relaxing surf down at San Onofre State Park in San Clemente. I was driving out. It was dark. I was driving along the bluff road and was waved down by a couple of young females, ended up being in the late teens, and they said, "Hey, somebody needs help." As I got out, I walked up to what was a middle-aged female laying in her boyfriend's arms. She obviously didn't look good. I was concerned and immediately checked her pulse. She wasn't breathing. I pulled her and laid her down in front of her boyfriend and said, "She's not breathing, we need to start breathing for her." So I pulled out my phone that was in my pocket. I had the number to the local or to the CERTCOM dispatch, which is the state parks dispatch, dialed it, and then immediately had her boyfriend start bringing in the paramedics and fire rescue. So for about 8 minutes I did rescue breathing, and I was able to keep her alive until rescue medics showed up in about 8 minutes. I was sure it was possibly an overdose, but it was nice to see that when I turned over care, they immediately started an IV and gave her some the Narcan that woke her right up. And the nice thing was that she woke right up and was talking, alert, and was able to go away in a little bit better shape than she was when I found her. But it's always nice to use your training and skills to save a life, especially when you're off duty and you don't have your equipment. So I was blessed to have been able to be there at the right time for her.
For selflessly and bravely stepping in to help save someone's life, the department is pleased to present a certificate of merit to firefighter Dane DeBoer. In April 2019, firefighter Brandon Johnson heard gunshots near his family's home in Carson. He decided to check the neighborhood and came across the first of 2 patients that he would help that night.
On April 27, 2019, I was visiting my parents in Carson, California, which is near our station 10. And we were in the living room just talking, and all of a sudden we heard a series of gunshots go off. I told my parents I needed to go see what's going on. I know some of the people in the neighborhood, they tend to hang out, so this kind of was a natural reaction for me to want to go help. So I started driving down the street. To my left, I saw a young man, and a woman screaming for help. So I decided to hop out and render aid. He was shot about 5 times. And I just did what I had to do as far as, controlling the bleeding, waiting for the fire department to come there. Once they got on scene, I was relieved and they rendered aid. And today he did survive, and we have a great friendship to this day. I just want to thank the department for taking a chance on me. This is what I live for, to become a firefighter, and this is a big part of what I signed up to do. So I'm honored to be able to be a part of this great honor.
For taking courageous initiative to help save the lives of others, the department is pleased to present a certificate of merit to firefighter Brandon Johnson. In November 2019, fire explorer Matthew Harrison was caught in the middle of the tragic fatal shooting at Saugus High School. He heard the initial shots fired and was waved into a classroom by a teacher. Not long after, a student came in with a gunshot wound, and Explorer Harrison immediately applied pressure to the wound and stayed with that patient until help arrived. For demonstrating quick thinking and heroism in saving a person's life, the department is pleased to present a certificate of merit to firefighter explorer Matthew Harrison. On his way to work in July of 2020, Fire Captain Mario Cabrales noticed a car behind him on the freeway crash into the center divider and tumble. As it landed, he pulled over to help and noticed the driver had been ejected into traffic lanes as cars sped by. With no safety gear on, he ran toward the patient, waving his arms at oncoming traffic. He managed to stop traffic, call 911, and render aid immediately. He repositioned the patient's airway to allow them to breathe again, controlled bleeding, and assisted as best he could with head wounds, stabilizing the patient until help arrived. For selflessly and courageously putting his life at risk to save another, the department is pleased to present a certificate of merit to Fire Captain Mario Cabrales. Tonight, a posthumous award is being given to a veteran firefighter who courageously provided life-saving treatment to a mountain biker in a remote location.
Hi, my name is Eric Pacheco. I'm one of the section senior pilots from Air Operations. I was flying the Firehawk that day with our crew chief, Mike DeBron, and our backseat medic assigned for the day was Buck Ballantyne. When we got dispatched for this call, it came in as a cardiac arrest. We ended up dispatching the aircraft and going to the scene. When we located the victim, he was with a group of riders, and it was apparent he was on a trail, and we could not land the aircraft right in that immediate area, so we ended up doing a tow insertion, and Buck had the presence of mind to take his Propac and Zoll monitor with him, and that worked out in the victim's favor, because what had ended up happening was he had to cardiovert him and basically use the AED to restart his heart based on what he was experiencing. Mike and I ended up landing the aircraft a little distance away, brought the rest of the gear down. After we got the patient stabilized, we used the gear that we had plus the riders that was with his group. We ended up loading him on a backboard and walking him back up to the aircraft, and then we went to Paso Robles Hospital, where his cardiac doctor was waiting for him, and we were able to effect the rescue with the gear that we had, and then getting him in a timely manner to the hospital. And as a result of that, those actions that day were successful.
For demonstrating bravery and heroism while working with a team to perform life-saving treatment on a medical patient in a remote location, the department is pleased to present a unit citation to Brian Buck Ballantine. Just days before Christmas, fire ripped through a family's apartment in the city of Pomona. Trapped inside was a little girl.
On December 15th in the evening, my fire station, we were dispatched to a reported structure fire, apartment house fire on the east side of our district. Myself and my partner, Andrew Marquez, were on the squad. We were out the door before the engine.
When we were turning on to Indian Hill, we were noticing just before Kingsley that there was smoke and fire coming from the second story of the building.
There was also a number of police officers on scene. As we pulled up, we were approached by one of them saying that there was a possible victim or little girl in an upstairs bathroom window on the east side of the structure. After I put on my breathing apparatus and got my equipment, I made my way over to that side of the structure. They pointed to an upstairs bathroom window, real small. At that point, I realized that that obviously wasn't the best means of access. We didn't have any visual on the possible victim, so I ended up going through another breezeway, which emptied out into a garden-style courtyard right underneath the involved apartment.
I was a good minute and a half behind. I had to get dressed on scene, so I had to put my turnouts on and then head in.
Once we got up to the fire unit, we called for water. We masked up, and I attempted to go interior while we were waiting for water. We did that, and within about 5 to 10 seconds, conditions changed inside the apartment, where I was able to actually crawl in and start doing a right-handed wall search. After I cleared the living room and part of the bedroom, a fireman off of engine 101 came in and assisted me with the search, and he started on the left side of the apartment. He made his way up to a set of cabinets, closets, and what ended up being a bathroom, which the victim was in. And when he opened up the bathroom door, he noticed that there was the victim at the foot of the bathtub. At that time, we both helped him get the victim out, and then brought the little girl to outside the apartment.
I went to the front door to see where Chris was. I got about maybe 2 steps in, and there they were. Chris was coming out with the firemen from 101s, and then as well as the little girl that they pulled from the bathroom. We immediately assessed her. I immediately went to her airway, started working on her airway. My partner Chris got a line immediately, and we were just waiting on the ambulance. When the ambulance got on scene, went ahead and just load and go. We went.
I was able to start an IV and get her in the back of the ambulance and get her to the hospital, just assisting with her respirations. And en route to the hospital, she began to come around more and more, started to cry, started to squeeze our hands on command. And by the time we got her to the emergency room, she was trying to talk. As far as how she did, we got word the next day via one of our battalion chiefs and a picture of the girl that we had pulled out of the fire, sitting over at one of the local burn centers, holding up a picture saying, "Thank you, firefighters, for saving me." And she looked like she had never been through a fire, and she ended up going home, I believe, that day or the day after.
I appreciate the nomination, but really the main story I thought was how well we all worked as a team effort. The whole battalion and even Battalion 2, we all did a great job of working together, coordinating together.
Everybody performed admirably, and it's just what we do. It's something that we sign up to do, so it's a common occurrence in our business to do this. So it's humbling to be recognized for an award, but at the same time, it's part of my job.
For working together as a team and demonstrating bravery to rescue a young patient trapped inside a burning apartment, the department is pleased to present a unit citation to Fire Captain Joseph Barul, Fire Captain Max Diamond, Firefighter Specialist Vincente Casas, Firefighter Specialist Eric Hammerstrom, Firefighter Matthew Christie, Firefighter Christopher Cullen, Firefighter Andrew Marquez, and Firefighter Neil Polakovic. A 4-story apartment building went up in flames with residents trapped at the top level, including a mom-to-be.
We arrived on scene on Quint 110 in response to a structure fire in an apartment complex. Upon arrival, we saw smoke showing from 2 balconies with 2 people on one balcony and a single person on another balcony.
I knew this building was going to be tough for us due to our pre-planning and the difficulty of this building. I then go ahead and gave my size up. I passed command. I had let the truck company, they did know they had a rescue problem. My job was to go ahead and buy those guys some time.
Our engineer, Jerry Abbott, deployed the aerial ladder from Quint 110. After the ladder was deployed, I went up the ladder and proceeded to try to bring the victim back down from her balcony down by way of the aerial ladder. She was at first hesitant because she had a pet that was afraid and was cowering under a bed and tried to bite her every time she grabbed it. Meanwhile, the couple who was on the adjoining balcony stressed a sense of urgency to the young lady that she needed to get on the ladder right away and not delay. So finally we got the young lady off of the ladder and brought her down. Once we got the first victim down, the lady down from one balcony, we went to the other balcony with the aerial ladder and proceeded to take the couple down along with their dog.
We had to come around the side of the building. We had to go through a few gates. I then assisted firefighter Perez to go ahead and we charged the inch and 3/4 hand line, reset the fire, then ascended up the stairway, make sure those occupants that were on the balconies, all their doors were closed, and then we initiated fire attack from the interior. So we had simultaneously a rescue going on with fire attack.
To my knowledge, everything came out all right. Everything was safe.
At the end of the day, you know, the fire went out, and I think we rescued 3 people, including 1 pregnant lady from a 4th-story balcony.
I'd like to thank the people who nominated me for this award. It's just what we do.
I just want to say thank you. I think any of our firefighters would have done the exact same thing in the position that I'm in, and we have a duty to act, and that's what we did.
For promptly and skillfully collaborating as a unified team to perform rescues while also preventing the spread of the fire, the department is pleased to present a unit citation to Fire Captain John Muldoon, Fire Captain Jason Vasquez, Firefighter Specialist Jerry Abbott, Firefighter Specialist Craig Little, Firefighter Specialist Brian Robertson, Firefighter Rudolph Leon, and Firefighter Jerry Perez. This story made headlines in 2019, a story of a harrowing rescue that took skill and patience.
In the fall of 2019, while working at Fire Station 103, which happens to be one of the 2 Los Angeles County Fire Department USAR stations, we received a call for a dog in distress in a well. The call was in Malibu, California, so we responded from our station, which was in Pico Rivera, California. And we found out that this had been a previous home that had burned during the Malibu fires, and that the family's pet had unfortunately found itself stuck about 30 feet down in an abandoned septic well. When we actually parked on scene, we made a recon of the area and found the well, and I got picked as the rescuer to make entry into the confined space shaft. All of our monitors and detected that this was going to have to be a fully encased, suited with mask, supplied air entry. My team of 103 USAR members hooked me up into a system, a high point system, to lower me down into the well. Went down and was able to find the puppy. Just basically, it matched the same color of the mud. It happened to be a black dog in black mud. But once it made a little whimper, I was able to locate the puppy and was able to make a quick grab and call for the raise, and I was hoisted back out. Once I made it to the top side, my team
quickly made sure that I was being deconned properly and looked after medically by the medic on scene. Put the homeowners back at ease because they had just lost their property during the Malibu fire, so they were very, very grateful, and it kind of made me feel a little proud to be able to give them back something that they potentially would have lost one of their family members. I'd like to thank, obviously, my whole chain of command for the most part, but Commander Norman, Captain Fry, Captain Atwood, every captain basically at Fire Station 103 is just continually training us and keeping us where we need to be.
For remaining calm and collected while performing a dangerous rescue, the department is pleased to present a Certificate of Valor to Firefighter Specialist Jay Sartoris. A dangerous rescue took place in 2019 on a narrow beam 100 feet above ground.
My name is Captain Bill Borst. I work for Rescue Task Force 103. Firefighter Specialist Benny Sims was working with Task Force 103 when we responded to an active jumper call in Fire Station 164's area. Benny was assigned as rescue group, was on a rope and tethered off. He was actually had a patient that was mentally unstable that was refusing to come over the Alameda corridor. He actually was acting like he was going to jump. The operation was lasting between 6 to 8 hours. LA County Sheriffs then gave LA County Fire the go to actually try to rescue the patient. The patient was uncooperative, it appeared to be in distress mentally. Benny Sims and several other firemen and a couple of the officers were told if they had the opportunity to grab the patient, providing safety for themselves and the patient, they were able to grab him. Approximately 6 hours into the operation, Firefighter Specialist Sims saw the opportunity of the patient, turned his back, was very close, within 2 to 3 feet of him, and Firefighter Specialist Benny Sims actually grabbed the patient, which then many people grabbed Benny and the patient and then pulled them to the edge and actually rescued the patient and came with a positive outcome.
For taking decisive action and demonstrating courage while faced with extreme peril, the department is pleased to present a Certificate of Valor to Firefighter Specialist Benny Sims. A woman on her morning walk found herself helping a neighbor in distress.
It started, I was walking my dogs just through a little park that is right across the street from the house that I ended up at. I was walking and I passed by a lady on her phone and I could hear she was really upset about something. I didn't know if she was yelling to someone in the house from outside. I couldn't really tell what was going on. I just knew she was something was wrong and she was upset. I crossed the street and I walked down the pathway of those houses. I could hear people panicking inside and something was going wrong. So I walked up to the front door. Again, the door was open. I saw a little girl on the side where the kitchen was and I said, "Hey, is everything okay in here?" And the little girl said, "My daddy's not breathing." And I saw the mom pop up behind the kitchen counter where the dad was laying and just in a panic. And she was on the phone with dispatch and they were trying to help her do CPR, but she just wasn't registering. And so she saw me and she just looked relieved. And she said, "Do you know CPR?" The mom asked me. And I was like, I don't, but I could help. I'm sure I could help. So then I went in the kitchen and he was on the ground. Dispatch kind of talked me through it and I performed sidewalk CPR, which I learned later is where you don't do mouth to mouth. And I don't think he was breathing at all when I started. He was pale, he was cold, and I was doing CPR the whole time. I was counting as they told me on the phone, and then just all the way until fire got there. I found out later that he had a massive heart attack that could have killed him if I didn't do CPR, and he was like a miracle, the doctor said, because he was up and riding a bike with his daughter 2 weeks later, and it was just a week before Thanksgiving, I believe, that he had this heart attack.
For displaying exceptional kindness and taking the initiative to help save a person's life, the department is pleased to present a Certificate of Valor to Shelby Stuckey. You heard a little bit about this earlier, but here's more on how 2 Harbor Patrol officers came to the rescue of one of their own. For swiftly taking action and putting his own life at risk to save another, the department is pleased to present a Certificate of Valor to Harbor Patrol Officer William Flickinger.
Thank you for the peers who nominated me for this. Thank you very much for being there for us.
And now we have reached the highest level of accolades one can receive tonight, the Medal of Valor. It took a lot of guts, skill, and nerves of steel for these 2 firefighters to save a life as they clung to the edge of a coastal cliff.
So I started the day at Fire Station 83 and was detailed over to the cliffs for the day at Fire Station 53. And we'd gone through our morning chores. I think I cleaned the chicken coop, and we were preparing for lunch, or it was directly after lunch, when we got a call that came out as cliff rescue. And there was not a lot of information in the text. And so we made our way to the location. And as we arrived, I had already donned my rescue harness, and as we were formulating a plan, we couldn't see the patient. So I made an equipment pool, and as my captain was organizing the communications plan, I made my way to the top of the cliff so I could see what we had and how many patients. There was some sheriffs had arrived on scene and were standing a ways away from a gentleman who was just sitting on the edge, near the edge of a cliff, in a seated position, kind of observing the ocean. And I asked if anyone had made contact with him yet, and they said no. He was in a position where it looked like he might be able to just come back off the edge and maybe engage in a conversation. So I kind of crouched down and I made my way over to him, and we were having a conversation. I asked him his name and age, date of birth, kind of some general patient information that we always gather. And I was fairly close enough to him, and I said, I can't quite hear, can you come to me and maybe we can talk over here where there's, less breeze or wind. And I offered him my hand, and I'll never forget that moment. He turned towards me and reached for my hand, and in a split second, there I was on my belly. I had grabbed him by one wrist, and he was off the edge. So I grabbed him at this point. Now I was on my stomach, and I had him by his wrist. And then instead of continuing with my assistance, he wanted no part of that. He wanted to continue his jump. So he began trying to remove his sweatshirt and wriggle out of my grasp. Everything kind of started to happen very quickly at that point. I was calling for some assistance, and the ambulance crew came running up beside me, and somebody jumped on my legs to make sure I wasn't going to go over. It was Jordan and Alex and their trainee, and everybody jumped in and got a hand, so we got 2 wrists now instead of 1, and had a little firmer grasp. I remember Jenny was on the squad that day and jumped to a point on the ledge where she could get better access to the patient, and I knew she wasn't tied off at that time either, so I threw her a rope. She made a hasty harness around her chest and just jumped on this patient, and like a spider monkey kind of held him to the side of the hillside of the cliff at that point, as he was struggling with her. So now, as soon as our system was set and we had an anchor in place, I knew I was tied off. I grabbed a seat harness, and I just wanted to get to Jenny and make sure that he didn't take her with him if things changed. He was very adamant about continuing with his jump, and was trying to kick us off and wriggle out of our grasp. I remember, I think I just grabbed him, rolled him on top of me, shimmied him into a seat harness, clipped it to my harness, wrapped him in a bear hug, and I said, "Pull us up now." And they pulled both of us up on my back up the cliff. And then I just remember once we were to the top, everyone got him off of me and unclipped, and off they went in the ambulance, and the paramedics took him to the hospital, and that's all that I kind of knew of the event.
For their valiant and fearless action in saving a person's life while risking their own, the department is pleased to present a Medal of Valor to firefighter Jennifer Tier and firefighter Catherine Whitby. In this daring and dangerous rescue, no one was left behind.
USAR Task Force 103 was part of the initial response for a swiftwater rescue in the city of Southgate. After arriving on scene and sizing up our situation, we developed a rescue plan. The victim was in the LA River next to an abutment with about knee-high water moving approximately 10 to 15 miles per hour. I was lowered over the side, and after securing our victim, we were able to also secure his dog in a CMC rescue bag, and then we were able to safely extricate our patient from the bottom of the LA River up on the top side, after which we then transferred care of our patient to Paramedic Squad 163. Valor, I think, encompasses a lot of different things. Of course, not only motivation and dedication, but the commitment of every member that was involved in that rescue, especially the members of USAR Task Force 103, and not only just the commitment and motivation to effect the rescue, but motivation and commitment to continuing education and being masters of our craft.
For exemplifying bravery and professionalism during a high-risk and dangerous operation, the department is pleased to present a Medal of Valor to firefighter Henry Diaz. And tonight we award our final Medal of Valor to a firefighter who raced into a burning home to find an elderly couple trapped inside.
On the early morning hours of November 3rd, Engine 186, along with a first alarm response, was dispatched to a residential structure fire. Upon arrival, Engine 186 reported heavy black smoke coming from the alpha side of the building. Firefighter Jeff Darney, as well as the crew from Engine 186, noticed several Pomona police officers who were already on scene attempting access into the master bedroom by breaking a window. The Pomona police officers that were trying to gain access advised that there were 2 persons inside. Engine 186, having some district knowledge of the residents, knew that it was an elderly couple. Firefighter Jeff Darney from Engine 186 ran to the front of the structure and attempted to make entry. Pomona police officers advised that this door was closed due to a security door. Firefighter Jeff Darney ran back to the engine, retrieved a rotary saw, and made access into the structure, cutting the security door away. Upon swinging the door open, he was able to peek his head inside and see the first patient laying on the ground. He reached inside, crawled on his hands and knees, crawled underneath the smoke. Approximately 5 feet inside the structure, was able to drag her out. With a thermal imager in hand, Firefighter Darney proceeded through the left side hallway of the structure, while Engine 101 was dealing with the fire attack. Firefighter Darney described the structure as completely charged with black smoke, and he was unable to see his hand in front of his face. Even getting down as low as possible to the floor, he was barely able to see. And the thermal imager wasn't giving much help. Firefighter Darney proceeded further down the hallway, deeper into the structure. He placed his hands and feet in front of him and felt what possibly could be a large animal or a pile of clothes. He pressed down and heard a groan. He had located the patient. He proceeded to roll him on his back. He grabbed his arms and, keeping him low to the ground, dragged him outside the structure. Squad 101 was on scene, ready to render aid. Both were taken to Pomona Valley Hospital, and the fire was knocked down in less than 20 minutes. Unfortunately, both patients succumbed to their injuries. I would like to recognize firefighter Jeff Darney for his heroic actions in single-handedly rescuing 2 victims from the structure fire that day.
For heroically and single-handedly rescuing 2 people trapped inside their burning home, the department is pleased to present a Medal of Valor to firefighter Jeffrey Darney. Congratulations to everyone who received well-deserved recognition for their hard work, dedication, and acts of courage. This evening is about you and all you do, and the department would not be here without each and every one of you. Thank you and your loved ones and all those in the community who joined us tonight as we celebrated the best of the Los Angeles County Fire Department. Have a good night. We'll see you next time, hopefully in person.